Happy Saturday, or greetings whenever you're joining us. My name is Caitlin. This is Comeback Yoga's Level 2 Saturday morning class, and this month we are focusing on the present moment. And the present moment focus is so great because it keeps us from ruminating or focusing on what's happened in the past, and of course what could happen or may or may not happen in the future, but brings us to right now. And I always say the body and the breath are loyal pathways to the present moment. That's because you can't breathe in the future, you can't breathe, take a breath in the past. Your body only ever exists right now. So when we meet it on the mat, it's a great practice for living our life that way in our bodies in right now. And living in the present moment has a ton of benefits. I'm not going to bore you or drone on, but it helps improve our sleep, helps us manage pain, and lowers our blood pressure. So we're actually going to get started in a supine position or lying down on our mat. And I just want you to remember as you get there to lie down that this time is yours. So if ever I'm healing something or leading us in a pose that isn't where you want to be, find what feels good for you. Know that I will move on. We can always meet up later. And just remember that this is your practice. So we're going to start maybe with our legs extended if that feels good. You might have your hands long, or you might have them resting on your abdomen. We're going to think about diaphragmatic breathing. So sometimes we do this in a 3-part breath, but today we're just going to focus on breathing deep into our diaphragm. So if we have our hands on our abdomen, it's like we're sending our breath into the belly or right behind our belly button, breathing as deep as you possibly can, and it might feel strange. But for the next few breaths, think about just filling the belly with the breath. Pressing the belly button away from the spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, allowing it to come back down. And again, this might feel strange, because oftentimes we breathe with our chest or notice our breath in our shoulders. And that's okay. But I encourage you to explore this diaphragmatic breathing, because it's a very restful and purposeful way to breathe. And the more you do it, the more natural it'll feel. So for 5 more breaths, just consciously think about filling the belly, allowing the abdomen to rise as we inhale, noticing the abdomen fall as we exhale for 4, for 3, and of course, my friends, you can always stay here. This is your practice, and if you're comfortable and it feels good to breathe in this way, maybe you take a few more breaths here. And if you're ready to move on, we will slowly come to a comfortable seat. And I mean that with intention, so take your time. Maybe you find it comfortable to sit on a pillow. Maybe it's more comfortable to rest on your knees, or you like your legs in front of you like me. So find a bit of ease. And then we will stack our head over our heart, over our hips. And sometimes I always think about like looking down and peeking and checking myself in a mirror or something. But try and look with your mind's eye, or even feel in your body, your spine stacking, nestling right over your hips. And your shoulders stacking over that. And your head, maybe tucking a little bit. That's right over your heart, over your chest. Yeah, over your chest because your heart's kind of on one side. Who knew? Okay. And arrive on your mat. So for these 2 breaths, try and settle in. Allow the spaces that are resting on the mat to be heavy. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're going to breathe in and lift the hands just as high as feels good for you as you inhale. As you exhale, we'll twist over to the right and then drop the hands. Inhale, reach the crown high, and exhale, deepen the twist, maybe just with your gaze. We want to be careful that we're not using the left hand to pull us here. As we inhale, extend the spine tall and long, still stacking the head over the chest, over the hips. And as we exhale, deepening the twist, even just with our intention. One more breath here. Tall and then twisting. Beautiful. On your next inhale, we'll unwind, lift the hands just as high as feels good, and then we'll twist to the other side. And when you're ready, when you arrive, drop the hands. On your next inhale, reach to the crown of the head, really, really tall, stretching long. And on your next exhale, twist deeper, maybe just with your chin. Breathing in to reach tall. Breathing out to arrive in your twist. Notice if you are putting a lot of effort, if you're twerking or grinding, if anything feels like it's past the point of comfort. And find a bit of ease instead of that effort, so that we don't bring the effort past where we feel well, where we feel comfortable. We don't want to move into pain. Bringing intention to the way we move, and when you're ready, we'll inhale, unwind, lifting the hands just as high as feels good for you, and then we'll exhale, drop the hands down. Nice. On your next inhale, the right hand lifts high, just as high as feels good. Think about drawing the right shoulder away from the ear still, fingers just lifting. Beautiful. On your next exhale, maybe you find a little bit of bend over to the left side, or if that bend is not going to feel good, you just want to think about reaching tall with the right side. Wherever you are, you're breathing into this right side body. And if we do have a twist, if we do have a bend, the bicep that's lifted is coming towards the ear and not the nose, as much as possible. As you inhale, can you recommit to this height in the spine and the fingers? As you exhale, can you find that breath in the right side body? For 2 more breaths. Again, seeking to find a little bit of comfort, a little bit of settling. Nice. On your next inhale, lift high, and then let the right hand come down. On the next inhale, left hand lifts, you guessed it. Find your side bend to breathe into the left side body. Even if it's more of a lift and a bend, it's okay. I'm going to allow the right side now to feel really stable. And let that stability on one side open up. A little bit of stretching, yet a little bit of expansion on the other side. For 2 more breaths. Still drawing the left shoulder away from the ear. You got it. Okay, when you're ready, we'll find our cat-cows. So we're going to come to a tabletop. I'm going to bring my hands underneath my shoulders and my knees underneath my hips, dropping the belly button towards the mat, pointing the tailbone and the nose for the ceiling as I breathe in. When I'm ready to exhale, I'm going to tuck my chin and tuck my tailbone as I round the spine, really allowing the shoulder blades to slide over to the sides. And when you're ready to breathe in, find your cow pose. Fill the belly, get it really deep. Maybe your diaphragmatic breathing comes in here. And then when you're ready to exhale, angry cat, Halloween cat. I don't know, maybe squirrels do this too. Other animal, whatever animal you want. That gets really arched, rounded in the spine. Beautiful. 2 more breaths here at your pace, just like this. Allowing the breath to be what guides you. And then from here, we'll find our downward facing dog. So I'm going to tuck my toes and I'm going to lift the hips now, pressing equally as much as possible on both hands. And it might feel good here to bend one knee and then the other. Sometimes we take this time in our first downward facing dog of a practice to see what this shape can bring in the way of like new stretches and flipping the script on how our body moves. Our weight is distributed differently. Blood is flowing in the opposite direction in the upper body. So take some time to kind of explore how this feels to be in this inversion. And then when you're ready, we'll find 3 deep breaths of stillness. Thinking about sliding the shoulders up towards the tailbone. Tailbone points towards the ceiling. And the muscles, the backs of the legs, just kind of release as much as possible. There's a little bit of a bend in the knees. The chest draws towards the thighs. And then, of course, you can always stay here. If you're ready to move on, we're going to lift the right leg for 3-legged dog. I'm going to try and point my right toes for the mat as much as possible. Breathing here, still thinking about evening out the weight between both hands. For 2 more breaths. Sliding the shoulders down the back. And when you're ready, we'll step the right foot towards the hands so that the hands frame the foot, and take as many steps as you need here. And then of course you can leave the back knee lifted. I'm going to drop it down, but it's totally up to you. From here I'm going to slide the hands up and forward. So I have this low lunge, this crescent moon. Breathing here for 2 breaths. This is a balancing pose, especially when we're coming with our head facing down and then flipping the script and looking up. So take your time to settle in, notice the stretch, and then we'll slide the hands back down. Frame the front foot. We're going to step it back into our downward facing dog. Take as many intentional beats as you need to get there. You might come through your tabletop. Let's breathe for 3 breaths in our downward facing dog. Thinking about filling the belly or sending the belly button away from the spine, down towards the mat. As you take your 3rd breath, you might notice you've settled into a more easeful down dog. From here, we're going to lift the left foot high, 3-legged dog. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. So take those 3 breaths with intention, knowing that this is not forever, but this is for now. When you're ready, we'll step the left foot forward, take as many steps as you need, rearrange as you go. I'm going to drop my right knee down. When you're ready, I'm going to slide my fingers forward and then up. So really using the abdominal, the trunk here, to find that lift as we find our crescent moon, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. It's tall in the spine and open in the chest. The clavicles really wide. Beautiful. 2 more breaths here, taking whatever you need to find some balance. So strong. Beautiful. We're going to fold forward, frame the front foot, and then step back to your down dog. Take as much as you need to get there. Settle here for 3 breaths. I know you're working. Remember, this is your practice. Child's pose, your favorite pose, is always available to you. We're going to lift the right leg, 3-legged dog, 3 breaths. When you're ready, we'll step it through. Drop the back knee. Lift up into your crescent moon. For 2 more breaths. From here, I'm going to keep my lower body still, wherever it is. I'm going to bring my left fingers forward, and my right hand's going to slide back, really opening the chest towards the right side of the mat for a gentle twist for 3 breaths. If it feels better to deepen the twist, you might kind of goalpost your hands here. Might help you find a twist. Totally up to you. You can always bring your hands to your chest together like this. Okay. And when you're ready, we'll untwist, frame the front foot, downward facing dog. For 3. Remembering that how you felt when you arrived on the mat may not be how you feel when you finish this practice. Each breath is a recommitment, an opportunity to find the present moment. Lift the left leg. If we're moving together for 3. Stepping the left leg through and dropping the right knee down. Lifting the hands high. Your crescent moon, settling in for 3 breaths. Perhaps just like we did in our twist on the inhale, you find your length, find your intention. Yeah, drop the shoulders, reach the hands, whatever it is that you need. On your exhale, you settle in a little deeper. From here, we'll twist. So the right hand comes forward, left hand slides behind. Maybe your gaze is forward, maybe it's out to the left, maybe it's back. For 2 more breaths. Awesome. From here, fold forward, framing the front foot, and then we'll step back for downward facing dog. From here, we're going to find ourselves standing at the front of the mat. So get there however you like. Maybe you come through tabletop. I'm going to take a few steps forward towards my hands and then roll up, just articulating the spine. And then we'll arrive standing at the top of our mat. Beautiful. So for mountain pose, we're going to root down through the feet as much as possible. And we think about root down. It's just a silly phrase, but it means maybe we're intentionally thinking about growing roots. Like we're going to stay here. So strong, so stable. This is a part of us just being here. Cool, whatever that means. From here, we're going to bring the weight to the left foot. So bring that rooting sensation, all of the weight as much as possible into the left foot. Can you still keep the hips steady and stable as you lift the right leg? Right foot is active, like it's going to step on a step in front of you. Maybe it just hovers in front of you. Maybe it lifts the height of a step, or maybe your knee is parallel to your hip. Anywhere you like. So this is a balancing pose. Come in and out of it as you need. Crown of the head is reaching for the sky. Shoulders are drawing away from the ears. Your hands can be lifted or at your sides. 2 more breaths. Your one-legged mountain. When you're ready, we're going to step that right foot back. So maybe you come through to standing, or maybe you just swoop it back. The right toes are pointing towards the front of the mat. We have a bend in the left knee now. I'm going to lift my hands high, right crescent lunge or warrior one. Energetically drawing the thighs towards one another, evening out the hips. As you inhale, finding your intention, what you want for this pose. As you exhale, settling in, letting it be. 2 more. From here, you might keep the hands where they are, or you might bring them in front of the chest. As we draw the chest forward towards the front of the mat, so now we have this long line of energy from the crown of the head all the way to the back heel. I'm going to bring my weight onto the front foot and then straighten the front leg as much as possible so that maybe the back leg lifts or the back foot can be kickstanding on the mat. And then if we keep this long line of energy for your warrior 3, as you lift the back leg, maybe the chest comes a little bit closer to parallel to the mat. So your hands can be in front of your chest or the biceps drawing towards the ears. Again, thinking about pointing the right hip point towards the mat. For 3 breaths coming in and out of this warrior 3 as you need. So strong. I know you're working. You got this. Beautiful. And then from here, we'll land on the back foot and we'll find our warrior 2. So we're going to spiral the back heel down. I'm going to flip sides. I'm going to spiral the right heel down. Right toes are pointing to the right side. And then we're teeing out the hands. There's still that bend in the left knee now. Maybe your gaze is over your left fingertips. Breathing in, finding your intention, what you want for the shape. Breathing out to settle in. Letting it be where you are for 1 more breath. Beautiful. We'll drop the hands. We'll find horse pose. So I'm going to bring my toes out and heels in. And you might want to walk your feet a little closer to feel stable. That's totally fine. From here, we're going to bend the knees like we're riding a horse. And then you want to think about stacking the head over the heart over the hips again. That can be really challenging. So find your stability, move with intention. Once you've arrived in this shape, I know you're working. Remember, you decide how deep you bend your legs. Maybe the hands lift, or maybe they come out into a goalpost. Maybe they're resting on your thighs. For 1 more breath, breathing in and breathing out. You got it. Okay, from here we'll straighten the legs and then we'll heel toe the feet in towards one another. Then we're going to find our tree pose. And let's bring the right knee out to the right side. So again, we're bringing that rooting sensation into the left side. Right knee comes out to the right side. Hip points, as much as possible, are still even and pointing forward in front of us. Okay, maybe your right foot finds your left leg. Maybe it stays kickstanding on the mat. When you're ready, grow your branches. Again, this balancing pose may mean that you come out of the pose, you fall out of it, or you find that you need to adjust. Can you recommit? or better. Find your new pose, find your next tree for right now. For 3 more breaths. Yeah, so strong. Okay, friends, from here, we're going to meet at the top of the mat. So let the shape go. If you're not already at the top of your mat, meet me there. I'm going to step my weight into the right foot. So really lifting, pressing the mat away as much as possible with the right foot and lifting through the crown of the head with that foundation of the right foot. Left foot's hovering and active, like it's going to step on a step. Maybe it's just resting right in front of you. Maybe it's step height or the hip height, anywhere in between. As you find your one-legged mountain, as you breathe here for 4 more breaths. Noticing if there's tension or a need to adjust. Making the choices that you need to make, and then settling in. Maybe you step through a mountain, or maybe you sweep the leg all the way back, stepping back for your crescent lunge. So again, check and make sure that your foundation is set on skis or train tracks, that there's space for your hips in between your feet. From here, when you're ready, we'll grow the hands, reaching for the sky. Three more breaths here. This time that you set aside for yourself. From here is warrior 3. So maybe the hands stay lifted, maybe they come to the chest. Chest comes towards the front of the mat, weight comes into the front leg, and then we're going to straighten the front leg as the back leg sweeps forward. Maybe the back foot lifts or hovers, maybe it stays kickstanding on the mat. For 4 more breaths here, your warrior 3. So strong. And when you're ready, we're going to land in warrior 2. So we're going to bring the back heel down, and then we're going to pivot the back foot, back toes out to point on the left side of the mat. There's still a bend in the right knee. The right knee is going to press out to the right side of the mat so that it's not caving in. Okay, beautiful. Tee out the hands. Your warrior 2. For 4 more breaths. Maybe you liked diaphragmatic breathing from before. Maybe you want to try a different way to breathe in this shape. And when you're ready, we'll drop the hands, horse pose one last time. So toes are in, heels are out. Find your foundation and then stack the head over the chest, over the hips, and then bend the knees. You decide where your hands rest. You decide how deep your knees bend for 5 breaths. Tucking the tailbone to point it for the mat, allowing the head, the chest to follow. So tall. 2 more breaths. Pressing the knees out towards the back of the mat. Yeah. And when you're ready, straightening the legs. And then we'll heel toe the feet together. So moving the heels in and then the toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in. Go until they're towards one another. And now tree on the left side. So extend the left knee out to the left side. Left foot finds right leg. When you feel strong. So pressing the mat away with the right foot. Pressing into the left foot with the right leg. As you press into the right leg with the left foot. From here, grow your branches. Whatever you like. with each moment, finding the shape, settling in for 4 more breaths. Beautiful, my friends. Okay, slowly with control, come out of that shape and we will come to sit on the mat. And I'm going to extend my legs long. I'm going to slide my right leg out to the right side, and then I'm going to slip my left foot in so the left sole is resting on the right thigh or close to it. You got it. From here, going to point my shoulders to my right toes. So my chest is looking at my right toes. And then from here, I'm going to fold forward. So it's called head to knee pose. You might be like, how does that ever happen? That's okay. You don't need to bring your head to your knee, but you want to draw the head over the extended leg here and find some heaviness in the upper body. So allow the head to be heavy. Allow the shoulders to draw away from the ears and really settle in. What you might find there is a stretch in the legs and the hips, even in the lower back, or maybe you feel a stretch somewhere else. And if you don't feel anything at all, that is okay too. Be kind to yourself, and we'll be here in this head to knee for 3 more breaths. Continually pointing the shoulders towards the right toes. So even if we're not looking at them, we're drawing the left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Staying with the stretch and remembering that we do not practice yoga to find pain. So if the stretch turns into pain, you can adjust. You can choose to do something else. Find more ease. Beautiful. From here, we're going to stack the head back over the hips. Hello. And then we will switch sides. So left leg slides out. The toes are going to stay active. The left toes are going to point for the sky. My shoulders now pointing at my toes. And I'm going to fold forward. And this side feels different for me. Maybe it feels different for you. We use our sides differently. And that's okay. Allowing the weight of the upper body to perhaps make some space in the lower body for these muscles to stretch. So pressing through the left heel, drawing the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Settling in with every breath. And when you're ready, if you're ready, we will bring the head back over the hips. I always use my hands to support me. Okay. And then I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together in front of my hips. It doesn't matter how close or how far away they are. Find a position that feels comfortable, easeful for you. Maybe it feels natural and you just went there. Okay, so maybe you can rest your hands on your legs. Maybe you want to rest them at your sides. For this butterfly pose, I want to think about drawing the knees down towards the mat, opening through the clavicles. So the shoulders are drawing away from the ears and towards one another, towards the spine behind us. Maybe feels good to fold forward. Or maybe you'd like to flutter your knees up and down, allowing that movement to add a little bit more weight to that down sensation as we draw the knees down. Think about stretching through the hips, legs, the lower back. And again, if you don't feel a stretch there, that's okay. Breathing here for 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, we will come to lie on the mat on our backs. So, allow your shoulders to find the mat. And I'm going to bend both knees so that the soles of the feet are resting on the mat. And then I'm going to cross my right ankle over my left thigh for figure 4. Maybe you use your right hand to press the right thigh away to deepen the stretch. And if this stretch is not deep enough, still keeping the shoulders on the mat, you might lift the left leg so that this kind of figure 4 comes a little bit closer to the chest. And you can use your hands to hold on to your legs or your knees. But we really want to think about keeping the upper body resting on the mat. Okay. Breathing here for 4 more breaths. Keeping the toes active. And from here, I'm going to unwind and switch it out. So my right ankle is going to cross over, my left ankle is going to cross over my right thigh. And then find the same variation on this side as you did on the other side. And then from there, adjust. So if you need to make the stretch deeper or lighter, go from there. Still keeping the upper body resting as much as possible for 2 more breaths. So great. Okay, I'm going to unwind, and then I'm going to bring both knees in towards my chest. And I'm going to lift my shoulders now and find my head coming towards my knees and using the strength of my core, my hips, my shoulders, to bring it all together and to hug it together as tight as I possibly can for 2 more breaths. And then letting it go and consciously noticing the feeling of tension releasing as we find our last shape. And this is always your choice. So maybe you like to lay back with your hands and legs long like I do. Maybe you like to sit in a comfortable seat or rest your legs up against a wall. Anything in between, friends. We're going to take a few moments to find rest or find stillness. As we find that stillness, for a few moments, wherever they are, I'm going to bring my hands into a fist and really draw my fingers in, wrap my palms around my fingers, using the muscles of the hands, the arms to bring everything in as much as possible. For 2 more breaths, noticing this tension, noticing how it feels, perhaps noticing my strength, and then letting it go, allowing the hands to open, the palms to rest wherever they are. Allowing the arms and shoulders to find ease. From here, I'm going to tense the muscles of my legs, so my calves and my thighs. Maybe the heels lift where they rest, maybe they don't, that's okay. Feeling the kneecaps lift along my legs, perhaps. Breathing here with the legs still but active, so strong. Everything wrapping around the frame. And then with one more exhale, let it go. Allow the legs to be heavy where they rest. Noticing the sensation of tension releasing. And allowing that release of tension to expand all the way throughout the body. So down through the toes and then up through the spine, the shoulder blades, the column of the neck, the head, the muscles of the face for a few moments, allowing every single part of the body to be free of tension. From here, you might bring your awareness to your breath, noticing how the breath moves the body and not adjusting the breath in any way. Feeling air flowing in as we inhale, air leaving the body as we exhale, abdomen rising as we inhale, abdomen falling as we exhale. For a few moments, you might count your breath from 11 back to 1. Abdomen rising, inhaling 11, abdomen falling, exhaling 11, inhaling 10, abdomen rising, exhaling 10, abdomen falling, and so on. Feeling the breath as a flow of pure sensation. Now allow the counting to fall away and stay with the sensation of your breath for 10 more breaths. The body at ease. Noticing you are the observer of everything in your awareness. For 4 more breaths. Friends, you can always stay here, resting. If you're ready to move on, we will move slowly and with intention to a comfortable seat if you're not already there, to close out our practice together. And as we close out our practice, often in yoga, we bring our hands together in front of our chest. I like to rub my hands together, create a bit of heat, and stack it over my heart. You're important already. You always were. Thank you so much for making this time for yourself. Thank you for allowing me to guide you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me and all of us practicing online. I hope you have a great rest of your day.